So today I went to the RV dealership and I drove a Class B motorhome. And when you're talking about buying an RV, it's pretty much the same process of buying a house. It's a transaction that can be completed in one day. And you can sign the paperwork today. It may take a week to pick up the vehicle because they prep it and they give you a little tutorial on how to do it. But it's a very quick process, which makes it easy. And when things are easy, we tend to gravitate towards them because none of us like waiting. I have found that impatience and poverty tend to go hand in hand. I have found that even when I am impatient, I tend to lose money and make mistakes. They say patience is a virtue. To buy a house, you have to be patient. It takes 30 to 60 days. And to wait for the appreciation of property and then to one day sell it is very much a long process. To buy an RV, you get the immediate gratification, but you get life adventure. Look, I owned a house and I'm thankful I owned it. I didn't rent because I needed to be stable in one community to build up my career, to build up myself. But after spending 4 years on the road, I have this mixed feeling in my mind. Good to see Inspired James. In one sense, I am comfortable in an all-night gas station. I feel at home. Shout out to you, Florida Living. Thank you. Because when you're in a house, especially if you're a single person, it's an empty, lonely, wasteful feeling. You look at all this space and you're really not using it. Again, I've gotten comments. I know some people enjoy it. And if you enjoy your house, God bless you. I'm happy for you. But I've met a lot of people, they're in their house watching van life people. They have cats. They have dreams of doing something with their life. And really, they're just in this shell of a house and not inspired. However, look, guys, living on the road is not all that's hyped up to be either. There's a give and a take. Every option has this give and this take. ESP, great to see you. ESP is often shared when she was renting an Airbnb in the winter in Alaska. She yearned for the feeling to go back to sleeping in her van. And when I test drove this Class B motorhome today, I felt the same feeling I felt when I sleep in my car. It's cute, cozy, easy to clean. I can reach everything I own. I'm on wheels, and that's inspiring. It is. And I can close on this deal today. I can have my new home in a week. And when this new home isn't serving me, I could trade it in, I could sell it just like a regular car. The transaction of buying a motorhome is easier than buying a house. Less stress, less maintenance, less liability. The downside of the Class B motorhome is it goes down in value. It's true. However, calculate your home insurance, your property taxes, your utility bills, your cleaning bills, and the fact that you're just sitting there every day, same place. Hurricane comes, you're not moving. Neighbors annoy you, you're not moving. Renovations going to come, they're going to go, and you're not going to make a dime until you sell. If your house appreciates 500% and you don't sell, you didn't make a penny. That's the ultimate dynamic. No matter how much your property goes up, you don't make a dime until you sell. It's all in your mind. And if you sell, what are you going to do? You're going to downsize, you're going to live in a Class B van. Maybe. Maybe not. But what did I think about the actual driving experience? Because sleeping in the Class B motorhome for me is a win. I'd rather sleep in a Class B motorhome than a house. 100. But driving a Class B motorhome is not the same as driving a car. I agree. The number one negative about a Class B motorhome is that you're not going to have a regular car. Because, to tow a car with a Class B van, it's insanity. And to drive a van every day, it's the same thing as when I had a Ford E250 cargo van, when I had an electrical contracting business. It's manageable. Driving a van, anyone can do it, man, woman, old or young. But it takes a little bit more calculation of the mind because you have to turn the corner a little wider. You have to make a little bit more cautious moves. You're not nimble like a small little car, and it's not as enjoyable. It feels like you're driving to lay sheetrock. That's what it feels like. Like you got a bunch of sheetrock and tools in the back. You're going to drive to the job site. It doesn't feel like you got your sunroof down, your windows down, you're door dashing the night away, or you're going to meet a Latina MILF and you got Sade on. You can listen to Sade in a Class B motorhome, but it's not the same. In one sense, I say, Sam, get the Class B. Oh, we got super chat. Robert, $5 super chat. Oh my God, he has a 4,800 square foot home and now live by myself. That would depress me. I've been there. God bless you. Would rather live in an RV, I hear you, and be happy than work 70 hours a week to pay the mortgage. Robert, I agree. At the very least, Robert, downsize, because 5,000 square foot of house is way too much. You don't need more than 1,000. So at minimum, sell and downsize to a house. At best case scenario, sell your house, make a profit, put a certain amount in the bank, buy an RV below your means, and then you can always change back and forth. That's the value of living in an RV. My man, degrees of freedom all the way from overseas, has stayed with me through the ups and downs. Love and respect to you. I don't know what currency that is, but I see the 4-0. And all I can tell you is thank you with gratitude in my heart. It's great to see you. Thank you for your love and your patience in staying with me. Shout out to Lisa's living in a car. Just recently, Lisa, been praying for you guys. Keep praying for Lisa. It's her first night in the car. She says sleeping in a car was great at rest areas. No knocks. Stayed 8 hours. Yep, I agree. Look, I enjoy sleeping at rest areas. I'm not going to lie, especially if they have security. But you can't, it's not your home. And if you go back there every day for a couple weeks, they will say something to you. They will not. Because state troopers patrol, local security guards patrol. And that's the difference. You get comfortable. Here's the negative living on the road. You get comfortable in an area, but you can't because it's not yours. But if I get a Class B motorhome, I'm going to get a camping membership, probably from Thousand Trails. Why? Because I cannot responsibly get a Class B motorhome and not calculate the cost on where I'm going to park it day in, day out. Sure, I could do some stealth. Sure, I could do this and that, but I have to have a plan. Lisa, $5 super chat. Thank you. Great super sticker. Critical hit. You know what it is, Lisa. One day at a time. One day at a time. Shout out to you, Lisa. Respect to you. Let's get to some of these live comments and go back to this topic about driving in a Class B motorhome. Today I did it. I was on the RV dealership today. I drove a $70,000 brand new camper van that I'm thinking about buying. And in one sense, I want to buy it. I can get it done by next week. I can go see my mom for 2 months, and everything I own is with me. I'm using every bit of that $70,000. If I buy a $50K RV lot with a travel trailer here, if I buy a $200,000 travel trailer here, every day I leave it, I'm paying for something I don't use. Every day I leave it, I'm thinking about something that's not with me. And that bothers me a little bit. What bothers me about a Class B motorhome? Well, one is obviously, again, the financials. Every mile I drive on that Class B motorhome, it goes down in value. I could eat that a little bit more in my Jeep Renegade because I already had the car before I started living it. I always recommend live in the current car you have. Someone said to me today, why don't you get a Toyota Prius? There's not enough upside. After 4 years on the road, just getting more fuel efficiency, and I'm already getting close to 30 miles per gallon, just getting another 20 miles per gallon and like the AC feature, I'm not, and shout out to my man Juicy Jeff, I'm not saying that doesn't have some value, but it doesn't have 30 grand worth of value or buy a used one, 10, 20 grand. Not for me. For me, I need to go to another dimension, okay? I've been on the road 4 years full time. I need to go to another dimension. And I want to be able to stand up, have the temperature control. And, again, if I get the Class B motorhome, I'm probably going to get a camping pass. Again, some of that, too, will be tax deductible for my YouTube channel. I think about that. But I'm not going to have a regular car to drive around and to make videos and to enjoy myself. I think about that. Or to DoorDash. I think about that. Driving a Class B motorhome is driving your house. Driving a regular car is driving a regular car that you turn to your house. Driving a car and going back to your house is having two things. Okay. And when you have two things, you need two insurances. I remember about 5. We're going to go to these live comments, guys. Click that thumbs up. Share this video. Leave a comment. Thank you to all the super chats. Put me in algorithm of success. Put yourself in algorithm of success. Show up. Show up. I remember my father when I was still talking to him. One of the happiest times he'd been as far as logistically how his living situation was when he was renting a small studio apartment, okay, in New Jersey. Keith, $10 super chat, brother. I love you. You did the right thing. Why? Because now's the time to downsize. When you're 62 and you've been in the workforce 30 years, there's no question about it. If you wait any long, you don't wait any longer. You've put in the work. Now enjoy the fruits of your labor. Never forget it, Keith. Thank you with gratitude in my heart. Appreciation. So, I remember my father, the best living situation he had was after my parents got divorced, he initially moved back in with his parents. That was a disaster. Living with your parents is for an emergency, not permanent. It's a disaster. I'd rather be camped outside my parents' house in a Class B motorhome, okay, than living in their house. Because, guys, whole different feeling. Okay. Whole different feeling. But listen. So when my parents got divorced, my father moved back with the parents. That didn't last too long. Then he got a studio apartment. He was renting it. He liked that he didn't have the burden of home ownership because he already owned a home. He built a home. He liked that he had a very small space because he was very OCD. He liked everything a particular way. Less things to have. Less things you have, less you have to think about. Less you worry, less you stress. And I think that it just gave him less anxiety. Now, eventually, he couldn't handle being alone. He went back to dancing. He met another girl, and he built another house. Was he happy? Guys, I don't know. In my opinion, no. But again, he was never happy. He's never really worked on himself. But everyone's like that. I mean, what are you gonna do? Never tell someone they may not be a full-blown alcoholic, but they like to drink a little bit at the end of the night. Never tell them they had too much to drink. Never. Why? Because, guys, one drink is too much. Okay, one drink. What are you? Okay, God, no, I'm not. That's my opinion. Do what you want. All right, back to these live comments. Guys, if you live in a Class B motorhome and if you have alcohol in it, you better not be driving. Okay, because if you lose your license and your home is a vehicle, you're screwed. Okay, I got stopped for a speeding ticket going 39 and 35 the other day. It was 3 points on my license. I took a driver's defense course to get that knocked down. But I want you to think about that. Something you have to think about. But I was tempted today to make the deal. I could be driving in this Class B motorhome tomorrow. Again, the drive is not like driving a car. There's a difference. It's not as nimble. Every time you drive it, a mile goes on it, $1 goes off it. It goes down in value very quick, and the more miles. So now if I get it, I'm calculating, well, all right, I go to this campground, then I go to this beach. Everything is a lot more planned. Now I'm a lot more willy-willy. Now if I get a $200K house, guys, I'm anchored. I mean, I'm like, where am I going? If I get the RV lot countryside, I'm still I like that option. The only thing is it's a little bit out there. And driving late at night, and I went there last night at midnight. If before you buy a house, you go early in the morning, you go in the afternoon, and you go at night, because it's always different. You want to know the environment. It was a safe area, no issues, but guys, this is a little like boondocking. It was like a little eerie. It was so quiet, it was eerie. Like, one part about living like, in a Class B camper van or a regular car, when you're in a rest area, sometimes like the movement around, like the cars going by, it keeps like, and there's cameras in those, in all those rest areas. It makes you feel a little bit safer, at least me. In a campground, same thing. There's other people, there's cameras. A lot of campgrounds are gated. When you got a house in the middle of nowhere or whatever, it's like, think about that, So, because now I'm thinking, got to have the heat, do this, do that. And I don't know, camper vans, like, But let me go to some of these members' comments, because I don't want to be neglectful. I always try to bang out the core of what I want to communicate in this live feed. And the core is, I test drove a Class B motorhome. What's the biggest pro? I can be driving in it within 5 days. Versus a house, it would take 30 to 60 days and be a lot more stress and a lot more aggravation. I can finance a Class B motorhome for 20 years, put 10 to 20% down. That gets your payment, right around the average car payment. $400 or $500 a month. Depending, you can get it less the more you put down. You trade it in, you get rid of it. It's an easy transaction. But it doesn't appreciate, it depreciates. You got to have a place to park it. After you've figured out where you want to live, do you want to stay mobile? Well, in Florida, you can live full-time in your Class B motorhome. I mean, obviously, you got to find out where to park, but the weather, like Florida and California, guys, the weather's so good, you can live all year round in a motorhome. Now, the Class B motorhome I test drove today was a 4 seasons. So if I go to visit my mom in the winter, I'm good. All right, let's go to the members-only comments, and we'll go from there, guys. Inspired James, thank you again, brother. I appreciate you. Thumbs up. Yeah, if you haven't already, guys, click that thumbs up. Share the video. Leave a comment. Put me in the algorithm of success. Click, 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 click. Never forget it. Florida living. Same hey. Shout out to the all-night gas station. You know what it is. What's gas in Florida? Well, it's right around $3 a gallon, $2.95, etc. for regular. Love to you. ESP, I love you. Shout out to Alaska. Inspired James, I'm cleaning Sunday chores while you play on the big screen, Sammy. I appreciate that. Shout out to you. Shout out to everyone watching me on the Roku, on their smart TV, okay, on their laptops, on their mobile phones. What I can tell you is this, in a technology era, as a digital nomad, as someone who can work remote, a Class B motorhome is a feasible option. Okay? Because when you can work remote, but you stay in a house, it's like, guys, a hurricane comes, I'm gone. If a hurricane comes and I have a house, I think about it. If I have an RV lot, maybe not so much, but if I leave my travel trailer on it, yeah. Am I going to tow a travel trailer up the coast? No. Am I going to put a Class B motorhome on an RV lot? Well, if you get a Class B motorhome, it's like, why buy the RV lot? Because, a Class B motorhome is dedicated to staying mobile. A RV lot is like buying property. You're stationary. So, that's like oxymoron, All right, guys, we're on fire. Never forget that troll that's following me. Kiss my ass, because you're obsessed with me. That's why you're going on other people's channel, but my channel growing. You hating, but you're going to watch me shine to the day I die. So what I want to tell you is take your medication, because Rusty said, get back on your meds. And I said, you know what I said? Get back, Satan. Okay, because my accountant is very conservative. Okay, my gift is God given. I work to refine it, and I stomp on the head of Satan, and I put him right where he belongs. Okay, on the other side of the creator studio, the troll studio, where you get no money, your heart burns with sulfur. There's weeping and gnashing of the teeth, and I say, by the blood of the Lamb and the word of my testimony, I've overcome again. And now you must watch me. Okay, now guys, look, what I want to tell you is this. Can I preach like this in a house? The energy's not going to be the same, okay? Because the energy in the hotel, it's like, guys, I'm comfy, man. You know, the energy in the all-night gas stations, like, guys, I know there's a psychopath behind the screen, but I'm dealing with psychopaths in real life. You know, it's like, give me a break, man. You don't scare me. You don't threaten me. You know what I mean? It's like, B, take it easy, man. You got so many fake profiles. It's like, you know, I understand. But what I can tell you is this, guys. Whether I'm broadcasting from an all-night gas station, a hotel, or I'm making over a police report of someone's IP address, okay, it's like, I'll figure it out, okay? But it's very hard to say what's the best, because everything has a pro and a con. All right, back to these left comments. Inspired James, howdy ESP. ESP, hey Inspired James, Florida living. One step at a time, great comment, brother. Did you ever check out the beach bungalow? I checked it out, I made a video, but I don't want to upload it until after I made a decision. So, what did I think about the beach bungalow for $200K? The location is prestigious, I can't go wrong. The house, it's like a mobile home, but it's anchored down to the concrete. It's well built, well located. The decor is a little bit older, but it's meticulously clean because they haven't been living in it for years. It's an inherited property. So, investment-wise, the beach bungalow is the best, barring a major catastrophe hurricane doesn't rip through that area and cause mass devastation. Like, guys, remember, there's no guarantee. Like, remember, they don't play the game in the stat sheet. You got to actually play the game. Like, I could buy the beach bungalow for the fact that it's the best investment. And then, like in 2004 or whatever, we can get hit with 2 hurricanes back to back in September, totally devastate not just my house, the entire community. We got assessments in the community. I got to rebuild my house. There's no power in the area for a month. There's no guarantee, guys. You know, or I could be in a Class B motorhome. I could go stay with my mom for 2 months while the hurricane relief comes here. Remember when Trump was throwing the paper towels in Puerto Rico? Like, oh, don't worry, we love you. Now Biden, I don't know what Biden's going to do. Biden's still trying to figure out how he fucked up Afghanistan so bad. So, while all that's playing out, like, guys, during the coronavirus, was it better to be in a Class B motorhome or a house? Well, if you lived in Florida, a house, okay? Because everyone wanted to be in Florida, great weather. Overall, it was open for the most part as best it could. And, Florida's the place to be. Actually, living on the road during the coronavirus was a negative. Campground shut down, gym shut down, everything shut down. So there's no exact science. Like, you can say, like, I have a couple of people who follow my channel. They say stay mobile because we don't know what the future is. Well, guys, I was mobile during the coronavirus. It was harder for van dwellers for the coronavirus than it was home basers. That's why most people got a home base. See, what I found is a lot of people who live the van life, they're paranoid, they're schizophrenic, they're psychopaths, some of them, not all. And they're not optimistic, they're not patient. And I may have some of those attributes, I'm not going to lie. But I'm also a realist. I've also owned a house for 15 years, been in my car, so I've done both. I've been obese, I've been anorexic. I've been a creator, I've been a viewer. I've been both, guys. I've seen a variety of things. And I can tell you there's risk mitigation. And you mitigate your risk not by picking what you think. It's a variety of factors. Okay. You got to be below your means, number one. Whatever you do, Class B motorhome house, got to be below your means. Okay. You got to have an exit strategy if something goes horribly wrong. And you got to do what inspires you. Like, if you check off all the right boxes, like, oh, this is low risk, I can afford it, et cetera, but it doesn't inspire you, then, guys, you basically just sold your soul for stability. Okay? It's like a lot of you married someone you went to high school. You don't love them. You don't want to give them a blowjob. A lot of you married people to get a green card. You don't love them. You love to shop at Walmart in a first world country, but you know damn well you haven't had a good fuck in a long time. So guys, look, you do what you got to do. If you got to get to America, marry American. Okay? If you got to get out of Afghanistan, go on Tinder, create a profile, and marry a fat, ugly American. Guys, I would do what I got to do. But if you got options, you got to look at all your options, okay? And you got to say, damn, Inspirational Nomad, stay on fire. Click that thumbs up, share the video, leave a comment. Why? Because what I can tell you is this, guys. We got to figure this out. We're going to figure it out. All right, very good, very good. Uh-oh, $5 revenue going up, super chat. 24.7 subs. Well, brother, by the time I wake up in the morning, we're going to be at 24.8. Don't tell the psychopath who told me I peaked out at 15K 4 months ago. Why? Because revenue up and subs up. Okay, and what I can tell you guys, he peaked out as soon as he masturbated in the stock and started trolling me. Now, he may have meant that positive. I have to repent that sometimes I've been negative towards viewers and there's just been a miscommunication, so I don't want to become prideful. But I want to say this, guys and girls, okay? Don't bust my balls, okay? Because you know, like I know, guys, when you live in a car or when you live in a van, there's a certain mentality. Like, I don't have fixed neighbors. And the reason I don't have fixed neighbors is because if I don't like you, I basically tell you, go fuck yourself. Because, you know, it's like Elon Musk said, having a house, owning a house is actually a negative because people can use that against you. That's why he went on that tyrant last year or whatever, and he said, I'm selling everything. I'm not going to own anything. Now, look, he's a gazillionaire. So, look, guys, when you own a house, it's a way that a lawyer could sue you. It's a way that someone can come after you. You're stationary. You know, it's harder to hit a moving target. Now, can they still hit a moving target? Guys, they can hit anything. There's no guarantee in life. But Inspired James says 24.7 subs and climbing. You know what it is? Fire emoji, gratitude emoji, hydration and cleaning break. Well, guys, shout out to you, Inspired James. I like the idea of cleaning a Class B motorhome. I don't like the idea of cleaning a beach bungalow that's 500 square foot. I don't. In this beach bungalow, there was a lot of storage I wouldn't use. There was drawers. There was, I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to use it. Even if my mom comes to live with me, guys, I'll use 300 square feet. I'm wasting 200 square feet. I don't know, man. You know, that's something you got to think about. Thank you again, Inspired James. Thank you to all love on the Super Chats, guys. You know what it is. We're an all-night gas station, okay, where the water is free, the ice is free, okay, and there's no fixed neighbors. However, there's always a psychopath roaming around somewhere, okay, and the lights stay lit, okay. But what I can tell you is this. When you're in a house, it has a level of stability and comfort that has value. It appreciates in value, but you don't make a dime until you sell. And if you just stay in your house for comfort, are you going to be one of these people who just take naps? Is the best part of your day when you die for 15 minutes? Yeah, I know it's really like 4 hours. You basically waste your life in your house. I don't know, man. I got mixed feelings. Okay. You know, some of you are drinking a mixed drink. I got mixed feelings. Okay. And there's a pro and a con, guys. There's a pro and a con. All right, back to these live comments. You know what it is. Click that thumbs up. Yeah. Robert, thank you again for that super chat. Yeah, if you got 5,000 square feet, it's a no-brainer. Sell it and at very minimum downsize, maybe even to a condo or a small house. One person doesn't need more than 200 square feet. Definitely not more than 500 square feet. Absolutely no way does one person need more than 1,000 square feet. You'd basically just be walking through an empty hallway for the rest of your life. That's true, and some people are. And what I can tell you is get your vacuum, get your rake, okay, get your your mop, get that bristle brush that goes around your toilet rim, okay? Get your paper towel holder, get all your uninspiring home goods. Watch me on your big screen TV because you took a big nap and you need the all-night gas station inspiration. You need this nomad to inject you with life because you still got crust boogers in your eyes. I know what you feel. because I lived in a house. You can't tell me nothing. What did Kanye West say? You can't tell me nothing. Wait till I get my money, right? That's right. Yeah. What I want to tell you tonight, guys, Kanye West went crazy. Why? Because he built a big house. He had 4 kids. Okay? Don't have any kids. Don't build a house. Never forget it. If you build a house and you have 4 kids, you're going to be watching me and a camper van, and it's not going to do it. All right, let's stay positive. Degrees of freedom. Thank you also. I appreciate that. Lisa says, my first night sleeping in a car was great at the rest area. No knocks. Stayed 8 hours. Thanks. It was great. And that means, well, one is we love you again, Lisa. But don't go back. Well, you're going to go back twice. If you go back 2, 3, 4 times, eventually they knock. So you got to kind of mix it up. Go away for a couple days, come back a day. You got to go back and forth. That's the hardest part about being a nomad, is you don't have that one fixed location. That's a negative. I love you, Lisa. Florida living, 4,800 square feet. That's crazy. Damn sure. Downsize right away. Totally agree. Quality of life over material things. Florida living, 100 emoji. We're in the greatest state of America. Good job, Lisa. We love you. Thank you for that gracious tip. You're going to figure it out. Save up money. Do the best you can. Enjoy this journey. Enjoy the adventure, Lisa. We love you. You changed your life. Because once you figure out how to live with less, you can live with more again, but you're going to have a different perspective, different mindset. Good job. ESP. At Lisa. She goes, I'm glad your first night went well. Keep it moving. Good comment. And we'll avoid knocks. ESP knows she had a psychopath guy tried to follow her at the rest area. So far, I've been knock free. I rotate my spots. ESP is a veteran of the nomad life. Good job. Mary Taz, that's my girl. Thank you again, Mary Taz, for the night. Sorry I was late. Nothing to apologize. I was walking the dog. Mary Taz, we love you. Gratitude towards you. Cartoon Mark, everyone out there, love to you. Mary Taz, which Class B were you looking at? There's 2 Class Bs I'm looking at. Number 1 is the Thor Rise. Number 2 is the Solus Pocket. Those are the 2. Those are the smallest camper vans in North America. 18 feet long. It's the smallest camper van they make. It's sitting on a Dodge ProMaster 1500. The Thor Rise, the 18M, has a bathroom. The Solus Pocket doesn't. It has a porta potty but no shower. That's a negative. Okay. So we'll see. ESP. If things stay the same with high price of vehicles, your resale value may not depreciate as much. That's a good point. Fair point. If things stay the way they are now with high vehicle prices, that's actually a good point, ESP. That's correct. Keith, thank you again, brother. Love and gratitude towards you. David, what's up, brother? Me personally, I would have a small car with a Class B. Where would you park it? If you didn't own property, where would you park the Class B? I thought about that. Well, if I get a camping pass, if I'm staying in a place for 2 weeks, park my Class B there, and like, you know, I could Uber to get my small car, drive my small car to the campground, and just use the small car for 2 weeks. And then on the day I move, drive my small car to the new campsite, then take an Uber back to the Class B, and then bring. But that's a whole cluster. Plus, that's like you know, always being by the campsites. It's too much. The one thing I like about the Class B van over the travel trailer and a fishing car is one thing. One insurance, one car, everything you own is always with you, one thing. I remember my father saying he's tired of the bills from all the different people. He wants one bill. I agree with that. Guys, you got a house, you got property taxes, you got utilities, you got water, electric, sewer. You got an HOA if it applies, you got home insurance. You got a mortgage if you got that. You about got 5 different bills right there. Guys, I mean, you know, this is what makes life uninspiring. You know, even if you can afford it, it's the emotional stress. 5 people, 5 relationships, 5 companies. I don't like that. I like 1. Okay. But we'll see. Adam, what's up, brother? Adam, there's an Asian chick that went viral doing bushcraft. She was recommended to me. Okay, she was wearing a bikini doing bushcraft. Very bad video. Very nice bikini thumbnail. Okay. 1 million views in 3 weeks. I forgot the name of her thing. It was like BC camping or something. But guys, you want to go viral, you need that cooch popping. Right here, show what's up, brother. Members only, you know what it is. I got the Trenta water from Starbucks today. Shout out to Starbucks. They're still locked down in Florida. One of the best free gifts, you know what it is. When you go to Starbucks, get your coffee and say, I want 2 Trenta ice waters. Right here, Sean, don't be afraid to ask for 2 Trenta ice waters. Why? Hey, you just paid $2, $3, $4 for a cup of coffee. You can get 2 free waters. Never forget it. Good job. Christina, hey everyone. Christina says, I love you. Christina's right. The best investment is the beach bungalow. But it's also the most costly, the most recurring monthly fees to maintain it. But it is like, look, long term, that has the greatest potential. Okay. Again, barring a natural disaster, etc. But I feel like a lot of it I wouldn't be using. I don't know, but she's right. I love you, Christina. Inspired James, thank you again. You know what it is, brother. I appreciate you. Keep clean, doing your thing, Christina. If you're I'm not sure if I'm going to say this right, a Galazinazier, I think most people would be okay. What does that mean, Christina? Christina says, at 50, your body will say thank you. What is a Galazinazier? I got to Google this. I don't think you should be a couch potato. I agree with that. Now, look, is it healthier to live in a car, Class B motorhome, or a house? It all depends, right? Like, obviously, if you're very elderly and if you have a knee replacement, you want to live in a house. Okay. If you got, like, just a little bit of issues, you can definitely live in a van. In a Class B motorhome. You can even park in an emergency room parking lot outside the hospital for one night, maybe. But living in a car, my biggest threat is, yes, something happens to my health. That's a risk. Because then I got to get off the road like this. That's why I'm trying to mitigate that risk. I've been on the road for 4 years. The greatest emergency you have is your emergency fund. The greatest protection against emergency is your emergency fund. Okay. So now I'm looking to mitigate some risk. Okay. But, you don't want to overspend mitigating your risk either. I don't want to justify a $70,000 Class B motorhome because I'm mitigating risk. But look, I put, 10, 20% down. I'll finance it 20 years. I live in it. If God forbid I break my leg or something, I could park that motorhome in a RV park. Guys, it's like living in a house. Okay. But you want to be in an area where there's good hospitals, etc. I can move to an area like that, but those RV parks are expensive. Then it's like you're not getting any equity back. It's a give and take, guys. But do you want to live your life as if you were 90? Do you want to live your life as if you have 2 broken legs? No. Because then, guys, you might as well live in fear. And many van lifers live in fear. They think there's an economic collapse coming. They buy gold. They buy everything. That's like everything that doesn't have hope. And I'm not saying they're totally wrong. And I'm not saying I can't empathize with that or feel some of that. There's a balance somewhere. I'm still trying to figure it out myself. Christina also says, a millionaire. If you were a millionaire, I think most people would be okay. Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's all asset allocation. Okay. Look, if you're dead broke, you do what you got to do to survive. Okay. If you're trying to get ahead, you cut back, you sacrifice, and you pick up side revenue to get ahead. You don't get ahead by living in your car and not working. You get ahead by living in your car and working 2 jobs. Okay. So if you do that, and then you have options, and that's how you get ahead. And so once you get ahead, then you have to decide asset allocation. Okay. Obviously, if you're a millionaire, the asset allocation is easier. But even people like Grant Cardone and other people do say the philosophy is, especially if you have your own business, rent everything, use it as a tax deduction, mitigate your liabilities, and invest the rest of your liquid capital in other things, whether mutual funds, etc. So the asset allocation of a house is just the average middle-class American who doesn't want the volatility of stocks. They got to live somewhere because usually they have at least one kid or they got one relationship. So you might as well live in a house because you're not going to have kids or a relationship and really live in a van unless you're an empty nester or young. Middle age, you're raising a family, you're going to be in a house. Okay. So The van life is for the single introvert or the empty nester on average. There's exceptions. So I fall in that category. I'm a single, even though I deal with people, I'm mainly by myself. And certainly if I was looking to get into a relationship and settle down, I would not even be thinking about a Class B motorhome. Okay. So, one thing that's a negative, like if I buy a house, guys, it's almost like you have to have someone come live with you. It's like, I remember coming home to the same house, empty house, it makes you more lonely, makes you more depressed. I couldn't even imagine, like Robert said, 4,800 square feet. Oh, I'll go crazy. All right, back to these live comments. Adam, when do you feel like you are going to make a decision, either option? I would say by Labor Day, because by Labor Day, I'm starting to really prepare for going back up north for a little bit. So if I'm going to buy a house, I need to plan the closing, which again, that's what I don't like about buying a house. It's a 30, 60-day process. You got to get a title company, even if you buy by owner, even if you buy cash, especially if you get a loan, especially if you use a realtor. You got a whole 30, 60-day closing process. Then, I got to really plan my next couple months. And then what do I have to do? Rush to get back down here and spend less time with my mom? If I get the Class B motorhome, in one ironic sense, I spend more time with my mom because I'm not pressured to come down here. I can get it by Labor Day, and I stay up here as long as I want. And the truth is, my mom will more than likely never come to Florida. So more than likely, because my mom has other kids in New Jersey, I have two siblings, she's probably going to always stay close to them or not want to come down here full time. So I'm probably as long as my mom's alive, I'll probably have more time with her if I was fully mobile than if I had a house. So that's ironic. Now, sure, if my mom got to a point where she said she's willing to come down here and wants to come down here all year, which I don't think my mom would want to be here down here all year. Maybe in the winter for a few months, I don't know. So that's like the ironic thing about this process. My mom has even told me, and I want to tell you, I cannot make this decision for my mom. I have to make it for myself. I am a 41-year-old adult. If my mom needs me in an emergency, we have other issues, okay? We have to liquidate her assets. We have to get her stable. And that's a whole bigger process than, oh, Ma, I got a couch, I got a bed you can sleep on. See, the imagination says, buy the house, your mom will come. Build it, they will come. I'm not saying there's some value in that, but guys, that's the movies. You got divorced because you believed in Cinderella. When you were still together, you went to Disneyland and you went to the Cinderella package. When you got divorced, you realized it was all an illusion. So what I can tell you is I smell the diesel fumes from the all-night gas station. I don't know, guys. I don't know what's real, what's fake. In one sense, what I said to myself is I just got through another day. I don't own a house. I don't own a $70,000 Class B. Damn, I got through another day. It's like all you got to keep doing is getting through these days. Get closer to death. Look, if you're a 60-year-old millionaire, guys, now you can start spending money because, you made it. Even Keith, he's 61. He's been working 30 years. The decision for him is easier to downsize, sell, hit the road now. So a lot of this depends on age, circumstance, but even when it all depends on that, there's no exact science to life, and that's what makes life anxiety ridden. That's what makes decisions interesting. That's what makes indecision easy, because there's so many things you can think of. It's like, what if Joe Biden dies? What if Afghanistan goes to war with us? What if the coronavirus Delta is worse than the original? What if the camper van breaks down in the middle of nowhere? What if you buy the house and you hate your neighbors? What if, and then you go in this algorithm of insanity, okay? And then before you know it, you say, I ain't doing shit, okay? I ain't doing shit, okay? Same people that have been saying, look, don't buy a house for 5 years, house gone up. But so is RV prices. And so is your used RV. That's gone up too. That hasn't gone down. If you bought an RV 5 years ago, it appreciated. It didn't depreciate. That's true. So, guys, there's no exact science. Okay? So, I don't know. All right. So, it looks like we got a decision possibly by Labor Day. Okay. That's about a week and a half or 2 weeks away. In 2 weeks, I could have a Class B motorhome and like this. I like that. In 2 weeks, I could just be under contract and then have to come back to Florida by October sometimes to close the deal. I could do it remotely, but I'm going to want to walk the property one way or another. I don't like that. Could I close the deal by the end of September and stay here till September and then go back up north in October and spend October up there? I could do that. I'll make a mental note that also it's like, one less month with your mom. It's like you could do all these equations. So, I don't know. I don't know if I'm definitely going up north after Labor Day. I may wait a little bit longer, no matter what I do. I don't know the future. I don't know the decision, but I know I drove a Class B motorhome today. It's different than driving a car. It's a little bit more, you have to calculate it more. It's a little bit more to think of. I'm not going to be door dashing in that. Every time I drive it, I'm going to be thinking about I just put another mile on it. I'm not going to be driving as much. My videos will change. My lifestyle will change. But I will still feel a level of inspired nomad. That everything I own is with me. Hurricane comes, I start my car. I got one thing, one insurance, one life, one love. If I buy a house, probably going to be painful initially. Oh, I don't even look forward to that, man. And I don't even look forward to, even after it's closed, I don't look forward to like just feeling like, oh, I got to stay here. I don't like that. I don't know. I know financially, now I also know, look, guys, I'm not really going anywhere. I like South Florida. So that's the other thing I got to tell myself. Sam, calm down. Where are you going? But look, I travel around a little bit in Florida, so I go different spots, keep it a little spiced up, So I don't know. The option to do nothing is always there, but as I approach 2,000 miles on my car and as I yearn for a little bit more comfort and something different, the option to do nothing gets harder to do that every time. Like to do nothing initially, the first couple times I looked at a home base, it was easy because I really wasn't ready. Now, when I pick the option to do nothing, it's harder even to do nothing because I kind of feel like I'm going to another season. So we'll see. I could still do all those things. Spire James, he's voting for the RV lot. Thank you, brother. ESP. It almost sounds like you made a decision. Well, ESP, you tell me because I still don't know. Like, I felt like Class B. Then the beach bungalow is a tough nut to get over. But I understand the philosophy of the beach bungalow. It's the best location. It's the best solid, calculated investment if everything goes right. It has the most resources. It has the most burdens. Financially, initially at least. The RV lot has a nice little level of upgrade to a secure place to go that's just mine, a quiet community. It's a little bit remote, though. It's a little eerie at night. Even though I got neighbors, it's eerie because a lot of them are seasonal. I went there last night at midnight. And, it's not abundant around resources. It's not an abundant place where you're going to get Wi-Fi or reception. I mean, it has reception, but, it's different. So it's a tough call. Inspired James, 15 minutes max from the beach. Keep on looking. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate your comment. I appreciate you. Yeah, there are some places. I found another RV lot for $150K by the beach. The community is not that nice. It's still nice by the beach. Believe me, you ain't going to find a bad community by the beach. But then I go down the aspect of, I buy a $150K RV lot. I put a minimum $15,000, $20,000 travel trailer. That's what a new one's going to cost. I'm not going to buy, you ain't going to buy any decent one for 10 grand used. I mean, it'd be a dump. So 20 grand for a travel trailer, 150 for the RV lot. So now I'm at 170. Should I just spend another 30 grand and go in the best location with a house that's already there? There's no extra added, that's like you say again, you go down this algorithm of there's so many different things you got to calculate. Spire James, take the Erie RV lot off the list. Really? Surely there's more options yet uncovered. That's true. Look, the one thing that I could say about waiting is, look, as we get into the fall and the dynamics of the economy may change a little bit, they may not. I don't know. No one knows the future. That's true. So it's interesting, but I'll share with you along the way as much as I can. I know some people ask for videos for the RV lot, the beach bungalow, etc. I've made videos of all of them. I'm not sharing them yet until I make a decision because I don't need more stress. And I don't know, I don't know what I gotta see. I gotta think about this. But I got a lot of videos coming up of Class Bs, of home bases. I got videos. Okay. And now if I get a Class B motorhome, are my videos going to be, this is how you hook up the black tank? I don't know. It's like, because I'm not going to be driving that Class B motorhome up and down the east coast of Florida, like giving like house videos. I'm going to be sitting my ass, okay, maybe by the beach. Like, look, guys, if I get the Class B motorhome, I'll probably have a better view of the beach during the day than I would at a home base. But I got to find somewhere to park it at night. And, I'm not on the road as much. And I'm not door dashing. There's negatives, a lot to think about, guys. A lot. That's why I tell you, don't, if anytime you spend more than $5,000, wait at least 24 to 72 hours. Try to be closer to the 72 hours. If you're going to buy a house, go there during the day, the afternoon, at night. You got to know the school systems, the crime rates, the hospitals close by, the resale value. And if you don't want to be bothered with all that and you look at living on the road, start in the current car you have. After you've been on the road for several years, then you can decide if you want to upgrade. Because I've been on the road for 4 years now. Now I'm deciding, do I want to upgrade and kind of stay on the road? I've just talked that out with you so you get a glimpse of some information. Okay. My man Inspired James says, I still vote for travel trailer and a separate runabout, like your Renegade. Okay. Yeah, look, if I get that RV lot in the countryside, again, I'll put a travel trailer there. I keep the Renegade. Now, how long does the Renegade last? If I keep this Renegade, we're looking at anywhere from a year to 3 years before major problems. With the amount of mileage I got on this, and we're over 5 years old. So, look, when you have a car, once you get over 7 years old, and once you get over 200,000 miles, that's, the 7 years, not that long, but over 200,000 miles, guys, that's high risk. So, then there's another 20, 30,000 for a new car. Guys, here's the ironic part. If you buy a brand new Prius today, it's going to be between 30 and 40 grand. Okay. And just about any new car is over 20 grand. Most of them are between 30 and 50. I know someone who bought a pickup truck for 80K. Guys, I buy a whole house, a Class B motorhome, for 70K. Okay, so, it's like, remember, most people have a $50,000 pickup truck. They have a house, they have 2 kids, okay, and they got a pet. And that's why you could be dead broke and even make good money. Okay, so, guys, I'm not trying to, necessarily, put on, look, I guess I am trying to beat the system. But I'm not trying to beat the system where I want to downfall the system, because I know what it is, guys. I'm just trying to navigate the system, okay, based on me. I'm a single person with no pets, no kids at this point in my life. When I had a pet, I had a house. This point in my life. And I'm trying to figure out, how do I want to live the rest of my life? Could I see myself living the rest of my life in a Class B motorhome? I could. Could I see myself living the rest of my life in an RV lot with a travel trailer and a regular car? I could. Could I see myself living the rest of my life in a beach bungalow in a high-end area? I could. Guys, this was a very hard decision. Inspired James, hydration break. Dodging those hurricanes. Well, yeah, when you live on wheels, that's your number one asset, flexibility. When you're static, guys, I looked at a couple of home bases, and I talked to the owners. And a few of the owners told me, one is in the same community I'm looking at too, and in other ones. They said, look, when a hurricane comes, you don't want to be here. Whether you're in an RV or a mobile home or a single family house, you don't want to be here. They said they tried one time, even doing like a Cat 2 hurricane. They said never again. So, look, how often does a devastating hurricane come? Once every 20 years, but it could happen more often. There was a hurricane today in New Jersey, flooding in New Jersey. Thank God I live in Florida. Shout out to everyone who tells you don't leave New Jersey because, there's going to be too many hurricanes in Florida. Shout out to you. I hope you didn't get flooded out today. Okay. Shout out to 100 people in the live chat, 52 people watching. I showed up again. Guys, you want me to stay on here for another 2 hours? Subscribe. Click that blue join button. You know what it is. Alex, I think Class Bs are overpriced. A van build would be more reasonable. Interesting, Alex. Well, in some aspect, I agree with you. In some, I reference ESP's comment. Right now, to get a brand new Dodge ProMaster 1500 chassis, which most of these Class Bs are made on, you're looking at about $35,000 minimum. So $35,000 to buy a raw van. Okay, then you're going to have at least $10,000 to $15,000 worth of materials to get that fully built out. Okay, now maybe you can do it for less. I haven't quoted this out, but I would say at least 10 grand you're going to need. So now you're up to 45. Now you need labor. You got materials, now you need labor. Am I the type of guy who wants to do a renovation on a van? No. I always told you, if I buy a raw van, I'd put a mattress in the back, a fan, and that's it. But it's not as inspiring as fully built out vans with windows. I want cross ventilation with seating. I've been in self-converted vans and I've been in official RVs. There's a reason the official Class Bs cost a little bit more. They're nicer. Now, sure, there's some people who are unique. They build these custom vans, but they cost just as much as the regular RVs. So, look, it's like, there's so many ways. You're right in one sense. But it's like, I'm not going to buy a $35,000 van with no windows. I don't want to do the work myself. I don't want to do any work. I don't want to do renovations. I don't want to do work. To me, if I get the RV lot, I'm not even towing the travel trailer on it. I'm going to pay someone to deliver it, or it's going to be part of the deal. And they're going to anchor it down to the concrete. If I buy the beach bungalow, it's got an older decor, but it's clean. I'm not going to do any renovations. I'm going to keep it for 5-10 years the way it is. If I buy a Class B motorhome, I'm not making any renovations. I'm not like Nomadic Fanatic where I'm not changing out toilets. I'm not doing none of that. I'm going to have like a porta potty and I'm going to take a shower at the campsite or gym unless like there's a shutdown, then I'd do like a sponge bath or whatever. But you're right, Alex. Overall, we're inflated times, but within inflated times, the ironic thing is Class Bs are also going up in value. If you bought a Class B 5 years ago, it's worth more today. It appreciated. See, everyone tells me, and you're right, in general terms, that a house goes up in value and RV goes down, but not in today's terms. In today's terms, everything goes up. RV prices, old ones and new ones, and houses, old ones and new ones. Will this last forever? I don't know, guys. I don't know the new normal. But these are all good things. We're just talking them out. Remember, we're all individuals. We all have our own journey. I know I'm hollering, but I'm just trying to get this out. And I want to share with you what I'm learning along my way. And I appreciate all of you. And I thank you. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Inspired James. Thank you, Christina. Thank you, ESP. Thank you, Roger, Sean. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, David. Thank you, Keith, for the gracious super chat. Thank you, Mary Taz, for everything. Lisa, thank you. Praying for you. Degrees of Freedom, it was great to see you. Florida Living, great to see you. Robert, Downsize, we love you. And I hope I got everyone. If I didn't, again, please leave a comment. David, Roger, Sean, I know I got you guys. I appreciate you. Mary Taz, if you got the Class B and saved the money you would use, if you bought the beach bungalow, you'd be in a better place. Yeah, that's a good comment. I want to talk about that real quick. So if I buy the Class B, the initial out-of-pocket cost is the least. Because you only have to put a certain percentage down. And, the rest you finance is like financing a house. It's for 20 years. But, 5% interest rate for 20 years, and that's your only payment. You know, you don't have property taxes, you don't have utility. Now, I'd have a campground membership probably, but look, do I feel better about only putting a certain percentage down and keeping the rest in my savings account or whatever account? Yes. You know, that was the thing I was thinking about today. It's like, guys, do I want to put a big chunk into a house or a piece of property? Again, you never get that money back till you sell. Even if the argument is that's going to appreciate more, who cares? You're never going to get it back until you sell. See, guys, there's a part of my brain that says, Sam, you own the property for 15 years. Never own property again because you're never going to make money on it again if you sell. Now, if I get to millionaire status, then you go to asset allocation, where even though I'm never going to get the money back, I'm just diversifying a level of assets. You can only keep so much in savings. You only want to put so much in stocks because, you want to hedge inflation. You don't want too much risk, blah, blah, blah. But also as a small business owner, you kind of want to rent everything, mitigate your liability, maximizes your tax advantage, and the Class B fits in that realm. Because the Class B fits in the limited liability, maximum leverage for tax deduction, and as a single person with no pets, no kids, home appreciation does not fit that well into my future. Because again, I'm not going to make much till I sell it. Now, again, as my net worth would go up, then I would have to evaluate, right? So, but that's a good point. That's something you have to be considered. All right, guys and girls, so I did it again. You did it again. I have gratitude. I appreciate all my members, everyone who watches, all the comments you guys leave on my videos, everyone who clicks the thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I know that I'm fortunate. I appreciate it, but I know I put the work. It's a balance. So that's it. Hopefully this video helped you in some way. Peace. Thank you.